the environment, the community that they came. That's how they have to live. They don't get by being humble or being submissive or, you know, learning to dialogue versus you talk over me, I talk over you. It's either what you say or what I say. I don't think that that was, and I know, like, personally, I dealt with that as well. But it took a strong black man to snap me back into my reality. So it wasn't like, you know, he had to take that chance and walk out on a limb with me versus treating me like the typical black female, because I was that typical black female. Let fight, argue, talk back, wasn't trying to hear it, my way or the highway. But again, it took for him to realize that you're better than that, you're more than that. And in line with what you said, we do. We as black women have to fight harder when it comes for jobs, for positions, for a lot of stuff. So we have to carry that with us. It's not necessarily in our nature to like fall back. So sometimes I think it just takes an open mind to say, well, maybe she hasn't experienced it. Maybe she hasn't had a chance for someone to say, baby, calm down. Like, you don't need to do all that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more of a cultural thing than it's just they naturally just turn that.
Okay, we're going to go right here. We haven't heard from you, and then we'll go back over here.
From my understanding, the original question was why is it okay for guys to date outside and girls not? Personally,
Well, no, why do you think it happens more?
Oh, well, that's my response to the other question.
Oh, okay.
Why is it okay for guys and not girls? Personally, I think parents in general have higher standards for their daughters than their sons. At least in my case. So I know, like, for my brother, if he wanted to date outside his race, it's okay. But God forbid I go date somebody outside my race. And I personally, like, I've only dated inside my race because that's all I know. And my last boyfriend was Mexican, but he didn't speak Spanish. And so when we were with family, it's like, what do they think? Are they talking about me? And I was so annoying, like, why don't you understand? And now my boyfriend currently been together for 3 years, and he is Mexican, but it was, my family's more like Americanized, and his is like traditional macho Mexican, and now I kind of want to date outside, because his mom is like, do you cook, do you clean, do you this, do you that, and it's like, no, 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 and no. And so it's hard, and because I feel like she doesn't really like me because I don't fit her traditional Mexican standards. Like, I don't look what she wants me to look like. I don't cook. I'm not submissive to your son. He can serve my plate. Like, I'm not going to get up and serve his plate, you know? And so I feel like that's kind of a conflict. Like, my parents feel like date a Mexican because it's easier. He'll understand. He knows what we do. He knows our culture. But seeing, like, honestly being with a traditional Mexican, it's not cool. Like, their standards, they put women down here, when really, we're up here. So I feel like if they're respecting also, and I feel like with African American guys, like, I feel like the way you guys come off, like, hey ma, or whatever, it's like, I feel like it's true, like, and it's not even African American guy, it's anybody. I feel like it's the way you come to a lady. Like, I don't want to be approached like that. I want to be like, hi, how are you, what's your name, whatever. Not like, I don't want to feel like you're like raping me with your eyes. Just come talk to me. And that's my thing. Like, it's the approach.
Thank you for sharing. We're going to go right here, and then we'll go over here, and then back here, okay?
I guess like I heard a story, because like when I was younger, my mom was always this really quiet. My mom's Cambodian, so Asian, I guess, but like she's always this really quiet, short-spoken person. So she never like I grew up with like a really patriarchal family. So my father was always the voice, and my mom was the support. So she never really spoke her mind. And then this black girl moved in next door, and I was like, wow, because she was really loud, and like she always spoke her mind. She was really opinionated. I really wasn't used to that, and that was the first time I ever was really attracted to a black girl. But I was always too afraid.
Right there, no.
You were thinking you liked that?
I was not used to that, but I was personally, because I was always this quiet kid, and I was never really around girls who were really outspoken. So when I ran into that, I didn't know what to do. And like, she'd always go outside, she'd always, jog and stretch and stuff. I'd be like, well, I want to talk to you, but like, I could never do it because I always felt like she had such a strong personality, and I had this really docile, kind of quiet personality. So I always thought like, oh, I always felt like I wouldn't measure up to her view of manhood. So I guess for me, when it comes to relationships, I feel like I've only been in 4 my entire life. I'm 23, and like I could never really open up to a person because I always felt like that person would never accept me for my. I'm a really gentle person. I'm soft-spoken. I still am. I haven't changed much. So like, I feel like a lot of guys have to meet up to this expectation. They feel like they have to be the man, and I was always too afraid of that because I felt like, okay, I'll be a man. I'll be tough for a while, but are you gonna? But like, I mean, like, will you accept me for the soft part, which is who I am? And I could never really have that until the girlfriend I have now, because I was really soft-spoken with her at first, and like, you know, after she accepted me for that, that's when I felt like, okay, now I'll be a man for you. That's how it was.
Okay. I know you have something I want to get to you, but I want to ask a question of Nicholas, and I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Sam.
Sam. Yeah. Okay, because I know you guys are not from the U.S., right? Uganda? Yeah. Okay, so what are your opinions? Just, you know, from the outside, you know, looking in, what is your culture like? Do you date outside of your race? I'm sorry to put you guys on the spot,
But I was going to ask the question myself. I wanted to know too.
Depends on
an individual, because most Ugandans are like Americans generally, whether black or white, they don't mind. But I'm opinionated. Like I wouldn't mind, but if I was like given a choice, I would choose black. Yeah.
That's what I have. All right, thank you, Sam. What about you, Nicholas? You want to add anything to that?
I would say that it's easier to understand your color. Not specifically like the black Americans, but if I was to face an African, it would be easier for me because if I can't speak English directly to her or whatever, I'll have an alternative language to communicate what I mean. And it's kind of hard facing a white guy. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you guys for sharing. Sorry to put you on the spot like that, but I was just curious. You wanted to add something?
Yeah. To go back to what she said, I think